Dun, dun, dun. Hi, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're coming from. If you all can just put in the chat where you're coming from, we want to see where everyone is listening in from. Um, we're always just curious to see this kind of stuff. So, but you don't have to, of course. We'll just give it like a couple, one more minute just so everyone can come in, get situated. If you have any notes that you're taking, make sure you have that pencil or pen. We will be doing breakout rooms at the end for specific regions that you're interested in. So if you have region-specific questions, please save those for the breakout rooms at the end. If you do, in fact, have any questions during the presentation, please put them in the chat so that one of us can answer your questions, although hopefully we'll answer most of them when we're doing this presentation. One thing I should mention now is that this is going to be recorded. So if you missed anything, it will be recorded so you can ask for that recording once we are finished. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully people will keep filtering in as we go through. But my name is Jackie D'Amico Farah. I'm the Student Services Officer for the United States, Canada, and Southeast Asia. It's a pleasure to be with you all. And now I'm going to introduce my colleague for today, and we're going to get started.
Oh, sorry, it wasn't on meeting. So my name is Destiny Nicholson. I'm the Student Service Officer for Southern Europe, and we can go ahead and get into what we'll be covering today. So we'll go over how to submit an ISEP application, good strategies for completing a competitive application, and who you should contact for any help during the process. Okay, a little bit about ISEP and our mission. At ISEP, we focus on providing accessible and affordable opportunities for students to go abroad, whether that's for interning, studying abroad, traditionally, or volunteering. A little bit how it works is we like to create immersive and authentic programs that focus on intercultural exchange that engage you with your host communities to let you live truly like a local. And here's a little bit of a difference between the two different programs that we offer. We have ISEP Exchange, where you pay your home university's rate for tuition, housing, and meal plans. So this is traditionally like the same cost as a normal semester at your university. You can add up to 10 schools that you're interested into your list, and more than 80% of students are placed within their top 3 choices on their list. The deadline for ISEP Exchange priority is September 15th. And then for ISEP Direct, which is our other option, is you pay a set fee directly to ISEP for the direct program of your choice, and that covers tuition, housing, and your health insurance. In this way, you can apply to the destination of your choice, and most programs have excellent or limited chance of placement, and you can apply early or you can apply after September 15th, depending on the program. As you can see in the deadline column, there's some that are due on September 15th, October 1st, and October 15th. And a little bit on how to create an application with ISEP is you can create your account, and then once you have created this, we suggest that we recommend that you meet with your on-campus ISEP coordinator. This can be found in your dashboard, which we'll go into later. And then we also have our ISEP student service officers who can meet with you one-on-one, like Jackie and myself. And at the end of this, all the advisors will be there to have separate breakout rooms for you to join and ask any questions you may have. And then now we'll do a poll where you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Thank you, Destiny. And hi, everyone. My name is Grace Glancy. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Services at ISEP, and I will be launching the polls. So first, we want to know, where do you want to study? And just to confirm, do you guys see the poll? Awesome. Okay, still some answers coming in. Wait a few more seconds. Okay, great. And the poll, let's see. It looks like we have interest in Asia, Europe, Latin America, and a ton for the United States and Canada. That's very exciting. As my colleagues Jackie and Destiny mentioned, we will have breakout rooms at the end of today's presentation where you can meet with the Student Services Officer for that region. And then we have one more poll. Okay. Next one is, where are you in the application process? Have you not started? Are you working on it? Are you almost done? Or have you already submitted? Wait a few more seconds. Okay, great. So it looks like a lot of you have not yet started, which is totally okay. That's what today's workshop is for. It looks like about 30% of y'all are still working on it. And we do have some students in this presentation that are almost done. So that's super exciting. Hopefully you can finish and submit at the end of today's presentation. And I will pass it back over to Jackie and Destiny.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Grace. Okay, now we'll go over how to submit an ISEP application. And here you can see the first step. When you enter into the ISEP homepage, you'll see the option to log in. You can click on this and it will take you to an option where you can create your account or you can log back in. As you can see here, if you don't have an account, you can click sign up at the bottom. If you do have an account, you can just log back in to start. And then, as previously mentioned, you'll have your ISEP dashboard. So this will provide you with your contacts throughout the entire time. At the top, you'll find your home university contact. This is the person at your home university that can help you walk you through the steps. Typically, this is the individual responsible for study abroad at the institution. And then below, you'll find your ISEP student service officer that's best suited to answer your questions and guide you through the process. And to begin your application, under the enrollment section, you can click application, start application, and then it may require that you receive permission from your home university. There will be a button to push if this is the event. If not, you can go ahead and start the application in itself. And then a little bit of background for this, you can hit edit. This will allow you to see all the remaining steps, which there's also a button as a drop-down menu, so you can go through each one to double check everything's correct and to edit anything on there. We do have videos on our YouTube that also go through the different steps, and it's helpful to watch. We definitely recommend, if you're having trouble or any questions, that you review those clips. And in the event that you wish to add a program to your application, whether that's direct or exchange, you can do this by searching for programs. This is in the application itself, and you can use filters and anything else to guide you through there, which we will go into as well. And again, there's also videos of this on our YouTube for you to look at. And here's the program finder. So we typically recommend that students use the program finder as they can use all the filters to sort which would work best for them, whether that's your field of study, term of interest, your region or country of interest, and then you can use this to add the programs to your site. And to add the program, you can click on it, and then once you have, well, first you can search by your filters and whatever works best for you. And then when you click on the program itself, you will be able to add it to your application. And once in your application, once you've added the sites you're interested in, you can rank them between number 1 to number 10, depending on how many sites you add. And as you can see here, once you click on the program and you are on the program page, you can scroll to the bottom. This is where you'll be able to see what semesters are available and what housing options, meal options, etc. are available. And then also on the side on the right, you can see how to add it to the program and to your application list. You can also, if you would like, you can save them for later. And then when you go back, you can look at them, review them, see if it's an option for you and if it works for your application, and then add them later on. And then I'll go ahead and hand it over to Jackie, who will go more in depth about how to create a competitive list.
Yeah, thank you, Destiny. So now I'm going to go through the different sections of the application, which is probably where all of your questions are. So first is the section, it's called the program list, what Destiny was just talking about when you're adding a program. This is where it's going to be when you add it to your application. So once you add a program to your application, it will appear here in your program list. You'll be able to change the rankings like Destiny mentioned, up or down. We highly consider, especially for ISEP Exchange, that you consider chance of placement that's next to each university. So on the screen, you'll see, for example, Tampere University, its chance of placement is good. That's a good chance. It has many spaces. It's a great university. There will be some that are most competitive, limited, fair, good, and excellent. So please just consider those. If you have any questions about chance of placement, you can ask your student services officer, or you can go on our website and look at the chance of placement page. And once you are done and you have all your desired add-ons, now if you forget to add like an add-on, that is okay. It's not going to affect. You can still do it at your program if you so wish. But once you're done, you can click Save. The next section is Lord, it's the morning, everyone, the academic section. So once you created your program list, you'll be able to add the field or field of studies you want to take courses in. You can list several fields of study by clicking Add Another, and you should add every subject that you plan to take courses in. If you're interested in them, you can still put it, but just put the ones that you know you plan to take courses in for now. If you do not see an area of study that you need, it means that it's not available through this program. So just email your student services officer with any questions that you have, or just to determine a new plan that will work for you. Please don't forget to list your academic level and the language. Once you are all done adding your academics, you can click Save and Continue. Okay, now this is the document section. First, there's several documents that you're going to add, so I'm going to go through them one by one. So the first is your official transcript from your home university. It cannot be unofficial. We must have an official transcript. You can request a copy from your home university. Once you receive it, you can upload it right into your application. That's on the screen. You'll see it next to number 1. If you have any questions or if you're unsure whether or not your transcript is official, just email your student services officer. Number 2 is your academic reference. So on the screen, you'll see at number 2, it says request an academic reference. There's a blue box that looks like it has a drop-down arrow. Please click that. You'll need to enter your professor's title. So are they a university professor? Are they an associate? That kind of thing. Once you click their title, you'll need to add their name and their email. And then it will send them the form where they can submit their letter of recommendation. You can request multiple professors to write a reference for you, but you only need one to submit your application. Please know that if you are applying to an ISEP direct program, you do not need to submit an academic reference. Third, so this is number 3. If you're applying for a program where the primary language is different than your primary language at your home university, you may be prompted to also submit a language evaluation completed by a professor of that language or a writing sample. If you have a language exam like a TOEFL or IELTS, I will go into that in the next couple of minutes. So you'll need to request in a language evaluation, and that's there at number 3. If you have any questions, just ask your student services officer. And number 4, which is not on here, but everyone should know this, please check the academic conditions section or special application instruction section on the Pacific's program page of the programs you're trying to apply to for more information on any additional documents needed for some of your programs. If you are unsure, the special academic conditions is at the bottom of the program page. Special application instruction section is in the academic section on that program page. But if you have any questions or you're unsure, just again, ask your student services officer. So the next section is the eligibility section. In this section, you'll need to enter the academic level that you are at while abroad. If you are US and a US student only, you will need to put in your US GPA. You'll also need to state the number of undergraduate or graduate semesters you have completed prior to studying abroad. Um, this is where I will go into more depth about your TOEFL or IELTS scores. So if you have a TOEFL or IELTS scores, this is where you'll need to enter your score and then upload the official documentation. It's not on this slide here, but in your applications, there will be a section that says upload your official documentation for the TOEFL or IELTS. Please put it there. If you did a language evaluation that I just talked about in the previous section, it will also populate right here so you can see it. I recommend that you verify your eligibility. This is a great way to find out if you need any additional documents, if you're not eligible because of the number of semesters you have completed, if you need something for a portfolio, for art, or one of those subjects, this is where it will tell you. Again, if you have any questions, just ask, and then once you're done, please click Save and Continue. Now we'll get into the biography section. I've gotten quite a few questions, so this section is all about you. I had some students that thought it was about someone else. This is about you. We want to know about you. So in this section, you will need to enter your address, first name, city, country of birth, all that lovely good stuff. You'll also need to enter your passport information. We will need this for any visa documents or any emails that we need to send out for your visas. If you do not have a passport or you're waiting on a renewal of your passport, for now, you can click no and then send us your passport later. But we highly encourage that if you haven't started that process to please get that started. Several students have asked over the years, they are waiting on the renewal, but they want to upload their old passport. You can upload that passport for now just so we have some of that information. But again, please just let us know so we can expect the updated copy of your passport. And again, if you don't have a passport, please get that started now so that way you can be on time for your program. So the last section of the application is called the other section. The other section is where you can submit anything else that ISEP will need to know when making placements. So this could include special needs like extra time on exams, special medications, special support services that you receive from your home institution that you will need to be provided at the host university. Now, you don't have to tell us, but we always like to say it's always best to submit this information early so we can make sure that one, your host can support you. And that way we also know how we can help support you through the process before you get to your host institution. I will say it's a little more difficult if we find out about these things a little bit later into the placement, just because we don't want to end you up in a position where the host institution that you're placed at cannot provide those services that you need. So the earlier we know, the better. Okay, so lastly, in order to submit your ISEP application or to be considered fully submitted, the following steps must be completed. So one, you've completed all the sections and you have pressed the submit button, which is circled in yellow on your screen. Second, you pay the ISEP application fee in your invoices tab in your dashboard. Now, some of you might come and say, hey, Jackie, I don't see this application fee in my invoices tab. That is okay. It's probably because your home university has to pay that fee for you. But if you're unsure, just ask. But if you do see that fee in your invoices tab, it means you have to pay it. So please pay that so that way it can go to your home ISEP coordinator for their approval of your application. Once they have reviewed and approved your application, your ISEP application will be considered fully submitted and ready to go into the placement round. Again, we kindly ask that you make sure you submit your application and, if applicable, pay the application fee with enough time for your home university to review before the primary deadline. Please remember the primary deadline is September 15th. If you submit your application after September 15th, you may be subject to only applying to sites that have spaces available. So that list may be limited, just as a fair warning to everyone. And yeah, please make sure that you're following your home university's guidelines if there is any. If not, please make sure that you submit everything by September 15th. Okay, now we're going to go into strategies for a competitive application. So this is where I was talking about earlier when you were doing your program list about chances of placement. It's really good to consider chance of placement when thinking about schools that you're interested in, but also where you're placing them on your program list. So chance of placement ranges from excellent to most competitive. Specific placements cannot be guaranteed on ISEP Exchange. So I know some of you have your eyes set on that one school, but please know that we cannot guarantee your spot at a specific university on ISEP Exchange. For ISEP Exchange, we recommend that you list at least 3 to 5 programs that you would be absolutely excited to attend. No matter what 3 or 5 you get placed at, on that list, you're going. If you don't feel that way about a certain program, I recommend don't putting on your list just because you never know where you're going to be placed. And if you're not absolutely dying to go to that school, please don't put it. But for ISEP Exchange, you can list up to 10 programs. And please, everyone, one most competitive school on your application. This is for everyone. Your most competitive program must be your number one choice, and there can only be one. So if you have 2 most competitive on your program list right now, please choose the one that best fits you academically, as well as the one that you are most excited to attend, and then remove the other one. There have been some changes in schools with chance of placement. So if you are working on your list, just make sure that your list doesn't have any schools that were different chance of placement than the last time you saw it. And then again, we always recommend if students have like 1 to 2 programs in your application with a good or excellent chance of placement. One of the biggest questions we get, I think I get, maybe the other SSOs can also say this is true, that students always ask about, the good or excellent schools, that are they good, are the most competitive, the more popular, most prestigious schools. No, it just means that the good or excellent chance of placement schools have a lot of space for students. They just offer a lot of spaces. They're all really good universities. They just have a lot of space to offer exchange students. So that's why they are labeled that. So now we're going to be talking about making a good list. So again, when thinking about your list, especially for ISEP Exchange, diversify your list to have more options for us to place you on. But again, as I keep saying, and I know I'm annoying about it, but please just remember that you can be placed anywhere on your list. So please take the time to research the locations, places that you're interested and willing to travel to, and that you are absolutely willing to attend. Again, it doesn't have to be 10 universities, it can only be 5, but those are the 5 choices that no matter where you are placed, you are packing up and willing to go to. If you find a university that you absolutely love, you see yourself attending, that offers every, academics that you want, has the structure, the social life that you want, and it's offered on ISEP Direct, definitely talk to your home ISEP coordinator about if Direct is an option for you. Please know that some universities do not send on Direct, so just ask your home coordinator if that is an option for you. Um, Again, every ISEP program page has a course catalog section, so please look through that section to make sure that there are courses that you are interested in taking. Please note that your specific intended semester courses may not be available yet, and that is okay. So for example, some universities may not have spring 2026 courses available. We tell students we recommend you looking at spring 2025 um, because some of the course offerings might be the same, and it kind of gives you an idea of what might be offered. So don't freak out if you don't see spring 2026, just look at spring 2025. Um, Please know that we do have ISEP scholarships and resources for you to look at, especially when budgeting. If you're one of those students that's kind of nervous and anxious about budgeting, we do have resources on our webpage about other ways to fund your study abroad, or just tips of when you're budgeting. You know, it can be expensive to study abroad, especially when you're over there. So we want to help you as much with your money as we can and just where to use it, how to save, that kind of stuff. And then again, as Destiny mentioned in the beginning, you can always save programs for later. So they go in your save programs. If you're on the fence about a school and you're not really willing to put it on your application, just remember that you can put it in your saved programs to kind of look at later. You can add that program to your application or keep it in the saved programs. It's not going anywhere unless you remove it or add it. Okay, so who to contact for application help? I keep saying, please let your SSO know if you have any questions, but please bear with us right now. It is in a very busy season, so we may not answer you right away as we're trying to get to other questions. So, who do you contact? Who are these people? This is us. As Destiny already mentioned and introduced ourselves, this is our Student Services Officer staff. We're here to help you answer any questions that you have, but we do have specific regions that we do have responsibility for, and we take care of you and all that. So now we're going to go into breakout rooms. And if you're if you're interested in multiple regions, that is okay. Just go to your top choice for now. Go to your top choice region and ask, some questions. Again, if there's any really, really specific questions, like about your very, very specific field of study, please email your SSO and maybe schedule a one-on-one meeting with them. And that way you guys can take the time to go over your specific situation. If you just have standard, application questions or have a standard question about their certain region, this is the place to ask them while you're working or just about to start your application. So with that, we're going to get started. I'm going to give the SSOs like a second to pull up their personal Zoom links. So what's going to happen is I'm going to ask an SSO to put in their personal Zoom link. If you're interested in that region, like that's your first choice, you're going to click their Zoom link and then go into their personal meeting for further discussion. So with that being said, our first SSO is our lovely Rachel Brown. She's the SSO for Japan and South Korea, but she's also going to help me out with Southeast Asia for this. So again, thank you, Rachel. She's going to put her Zoom link in the chat for everyone. Again, if you're interested in Japan and South Korea specifically, but also if you're thinking about Southeast Asia, you're going to go with her. Lovely. Thank you, Rachel. Next is going to be Kiumani, or Q as I call her. She is the SSO for Francophone Europe, the Netherlands, Africa, and the Middle East. So if one of those countries is your top choice, you're going to scoot on over with Q. Okay. Next is Sam or Samantha. She is the SSO for the United Kingdom and Ireland. So if you're dying to go to the UK or Ireland, you're going to go with Sam. Thank you. Okay, next is Spain and Portugal. This region belongs to Kira. So Kira is the SSO for Spain and Portugal. If you're very interested in going to Spain or Portugal, I know I would be in Portugal. You're gonna go with Kira. Thank you. Okay, next we have Charlene. Her regions are Latin America, Northern and Central Europe. So if those regions are your top choice, you're going to go scoot on over with Charlene. Thank you. Lovely. Okay, next is Olivia. I know it says United States and Puerto Rico, but she's just going to take Oceania, New Zealand, and Fiji, Australia. That includes that one for this meeting. So you're going to go over with her. Thank you. Okay. Next, next is Destiny. She is Southern Europe. So if you're thinking about Italy, Greece, Turkey, head on over with her. Have a fantastic time. Thank you, Destiny.
Awesome. And I can take over for you, Jackie. If you're interested in studying abroad in the United States or Canada, then you will go to Jackie's breakout room. So she will put it in a moment. Let me see. And just to confirm, I'm re-putting Destiny's information in right now. Okay. If you are going or you're interested in going to Southern Europe, then you'll go to Destiny's breakout room. And then Jackie just put in her information if you're interested in going to Canada or the United States. I see we still have some people in here, so I'll go over it one more time. But if you're interested in going to Canada or the United States, then you will click on Jackie's Zoom room. So you can see she just put hers in. If you're interested in going to Southern Europe, so Italy, Malta, Greece, Bulgaria, Turkey, that is Destiny. Next, if you are interested in going to Oceania, Australia, Fiji, New Zealand, that's Olivia's information. If you're interested in going to Northern or Central Europe or Latin America, so when I say Northern or Central Europe, I mean Sweden, Finland, Germany, Austria, Poland, the Czech Republic, Hungary, then that would be with my colleague Charlene. If you're interested in going to Spain or Portugal, Kira. If you're interested in the United Kingdom or Ireland, that's my colleague Samantha, Sam. If you're interested in Francophone Europe, Africa, or the Middle East, so when I say Francophone Europe, I mean France, Switzerland, Belgium, or the Netherlands, then you go to Kiwamani's breakout room. All of these breakout rooms should be in the chat. If for some reason you are having an issue going to any of these, please drop so in the chat right now, and I will help you find the correct room. Lastly, my colleague Rachel Brown, her room is for Southeast Asia, Japan, and South Korea. She was the very first person to put in her breakout room information. So once again, Rachel Brown, Japan, South Korea, and Southeast Asia. I see we still have some individuals in the room. So if you are having an issue getting into your breakout room, please drop so in the chat so I can help you find your correct breakout room. I see we still have some people left. As a reminder, definitely encourage you to check out that webinar chat so you can see the breakout rooms for all of our student services officers for your region of interest. You can choose whichever region is of the utmost interest to you, or maybe a region you just want to learn more about. As a reminder, you can also see your student services contact information on your ISEP dashboard. So if you're not able to meet right now, definitely encourage you to reach out to them and ask any questions you have and even set up a Zoom meeting. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Oh, I'm having issues joining a breakout room. USA is my place of interest. Okay, yes, let me resend their Zoom room. Give me one moment. Okay, I just put in the breakout room information for the United States and Canada, that would be Jackie, one of our presenters. She is in that Zoom room. So please try to get in there. And if it's not working, I will hang out here for another minute or so. But it should work if you click on that link. Okay, I think everyone's in the correct spot. I see there's a few more people in here. I'm gonna head out, but if you have any other questions, please drop them right now in the chat. And if not, please reach out to your student services officer. Thank you so much for coming to our application workshop, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.